Yeah, as I just told the guys, there's only one team out there out of 64 that's going to not feel the way we do right now. Everybody loses their last game except for the last team standing. So this is the worst day of the season for a lot of people a lot of the time. And guys are hugging each other and crying and emotional. And I just told them in the huddle that once the emotion dies down of what happened today, then you'll realize what happened this season. This was probably the greatest season in the history of West Virginia baseball. We were ranked in the top 10 in the nation for the first time in I don't know how long, 50-some years. We tied the single season win mark at 40. We won the Big 12. And we have a Big 12 championship trophy back at home that we're going to display forever. And we packed our stadium the second half of the season. We brought the community together like it's never been done before in our program. So once the emotion of today dies down, I think these guys will realize, and a lot of people will realize, that this was one of the best seasons any team has ever put together. And I told the guys, if anybody comes up to you in the next week or so and says, hey, man, what happened this year? Tell them exactly that. We were ranked in the top 10. We won the Big 12, won 40 games, and brought a community together. That's what happened this year.
Questions for our student athletes?
Cody Nesper, Dominion Post. Tevin, can you just talk about what this season meant for you personally, but then also getting back to regional for the first time since your freshman year?
Yeah, I would say it was a great season for sure. It was one I'll never forget. It felt good to be back in the postseason, and I know they'll be back. So I know Coach Mazey has them back in a heartbeat. So, but it was a great season, and I loved every moment of it.
JJ, Jared with the Charleston Gazette Mail. When you look back on the season and what you were able to accomplish, both personally with all of the things that you've done and as a team, I guess, what do you think you're going to remember the most?
Honestly, probably just the whole regional experience last year. We thought we did enough to make it to one, but we didn't get put in. So then I think just going to one this year was really cool and just gave us the opportunity to play at the biggest stage.
And I would be remiss if I didn't say, too, that part of this season was having a guy that I feel is deserving of the Golden Spikes in JJ. He's the best season I've ever seen by a single player. But beyond that, the type of teammate he is, the type of leader he is, what he does off the field is equally as impressive as what he does on the field. So I've never been a part of a season like that. So kudos to JJ for being a Mountaineer.
Tevin, today, what did Strickland do that kept you all off balance? And then, in the first inning, had a couple of barrels hit the ball really hard, but right at people. Does that kind of build on itself and say, hey, man, even though we're still hitting it, just not finding the gaps?
I mean, that's baseball. I mean, we was putting some good swings on balls, and like you said, it was going right at people. But I guess today he just made good pitches enough to get him out of there. So. But as baseball, it happens. But today he was just a better man.
Any one particular pitch or just location, his command?
Probably just his command, just mixing up pitches.
Yeah, back
Ryan Decker, Global Nation, JJ, I know you don't like to talk about yourself personally, but the 450 stat that I just told you outside, first Power 5 player since Buster Posey hit over 450. What's that mean to you? Obviously, as a baseball fan, what does it mean to be in the same sentence as a guy like Buster?
Yeah, I think it's definitely pretty cool. Honestly, I feel like he makes that stat way better just because everyone knows who Buster Posey is. So I think it's something I didn't think what happened this year, for me at least, but it's definitely a really cool thing.
Yeah, John Wong, NOLA Media. JJ, you talked specifically about enjoying the regional experience, and Kevin, you and Coach can chime in on this too, but generally overall, what was the hospitality like for people Lexington here for you guys?
Yeah, I think it was awesome. Obviously, the whole rooming situation, I think everyone knows about that and like blew it out of proportion. But I think they did a great job at trying to, accommodate for us with all the events going on, and all the staff here was really awesome. Made us feel at home, and then the games were super fun, and everything went smoothly outside of that. It was a great experience.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Thank you, guys.
Thank
You're free
you.
to go. All right, questions for our coach?
Can you just start with the decision to start Grant, and then what was he struggling with?
That's been our issue really the whole season. A Sunday starter, a Tuesday starter. We've tried so many guys, and some guys had flashes of brilliance and earned some starts in those roles, and some guys didn't. So actually put it out to a vote amongst the coaches yesterday, and 3 different guys got a vote for starting today. So that's why I say we really overachieved this year to go into this season when your Friday starter and your Saturday starter both throw 84 miles an hour, and you don't really know who your Sunday guy is and who your midweek guy is, but to just keep winning and winning and winning and winning like we did is the reason I say we overachieved this year instead of underachieved. So Grant didn't do anything wrong. He's a guy that's got to have tremendous fastball command down at the knees and give up. He's a ground ball pitcher. If he's not giving up ground balls, then they're seeing the ball pretty well. But it was good that we got a lot of those freshmen in there, Maxiel and Porco and those guys. That's going to be tremendous experience for them, Van Kempen, in the future to go through this atmosphere and experience it.
Coach, you and Tevin had the opportunity to share 2 regionals together now. Just what has that relationship meant to you, and what has Tevin meant to this program?
Yeah, you love all the kids. There's not a guy in uniform I wouldn't do anything for. I knew you were going to do that. But I don't ever try and identify or like these kids because they're good players. I like them because they're good people. And you won't find a better person than Tevin Tucker. So when he's done fielding ground balls and stealing second base, our relationship will continue to grow. You're barred from asking any more questions.
Coach, going back to Grant a little bit, I think it was after the first pitch they came out and talked to him. Was that similar to the Oklahoma game where they were questioning what he was doing out there?
Yes, I mean, the rules about wind up and stretch and all that are there's so many different interpretations depending on the umpires you get, and one Big 12 crew will tell them you can't do this, and you get in here and you get umpires from all over the country, and there's just sometimes they don't like the way a kid does things, so they make them change. Who knows? That didn't have anything to do with what happened, though.
So last time you made a regional, you didn't really get to follow it up because the season got canceled. So how do you go into the off season and go into next year with this group and follow up this year?
really the only two guys who have exhausted eligibility are Blaine Traxel and Kevin Dowdell. So we could conceivably have this whole team back. Feel like Carlson Reed's going to be a pretty big draft pick. Who knows? But he may have an opportunity to move on. But this experience that these guys went through could be good for us next year because, like I said, we could have almost this whole team back. And the job that my coaches and my staff and everybody have done to assemble this team and to keep this team together and coach this team and go through our team culture, and everybody around me has such a big part in the success that we've had this year. I guarantee you my coaches are out there thinking right now how we're going to be better next year, and that's what they do. And that's what we said after last year when we thought we should have got in a regional and didn't. Okay, let's do what we got to do to get in one, and that's what we did. So today we're going to say let's do what we got to do to win one next year. So we're already going to work on how to make that happen.
With school out, obviously you don't have all your team is kind of a captive audience right now, so do you have a timetable or what you want to do to try to meet with all of them, talk to them about their plans? Because obviously that's a quickly spinning process for building your roster next year.
Yeah, in baseball, it happens quick. We'll probably go home tonight and meet with everybody individually tomorrow and talk about future plans and what they got to do to get better, and spend a little time with each guy and go over strengths, weaknesses, and do all that. So yeah, it happens pretty quick.
Coach, obviously, as you mentioned, third regional appearance in the last 6 years for you guys. Assess where this program is now versus maybe when you took over in 2013, and just how you all been able to build it to where it is right now.
Now that's a question I can get on board with. Yeah, you other guys have heard me say this before, you local people, but when we joined the Big 12, what is it now, 11 years ago, everybody in our circle said, yeah, football, they'll be fine, and Coach Huggins, he'll be fine, and basketball, they got it going, but poor baseball. What's going to happen to the baseball program? And that was just 10 years ago, and 10 years later, here we are, going to 3 regionals and played in the Big 12 championship in the tournament twice, and have a trophy in our trophy case now for winning the Big 12 championship. So the last 10 years has been really, really good, and we've been ranked in the top 25 now in parts of 7 consecutive seasons. And for West Virginia, the outlier in the Big 12, not anymore. Now Cincinnati and BYU are coming in, but for the outlier in the Big 12, with all of our challenges geographically and weather-wise and travel-wise, for us to do what we've done over the past 10 years is literally nothing but a tribute to the coaches that I've had out there assembling this team, the way they coach the kids, the culture that we have in our program, the blue-collar mentality we have in our program, the play with a chip on your shoulder mentality. That's how we've done it. So the 10 years have been really, really good for us. I think the next 10 years can even be better. We've put ourselves in a position now that if you're a high school baseball player or somebody thinking about going to play college baseball somewhere, West Virginia's been in the top 25 for 7 straight seasons. Why wouldn't I look at the Mountaineers? We've gotten this program to that point, and I say I'm really proud of it. I say that because I'm proud of the people who are responsible for it.
Coach, you talked about having the meetings with the players, what you need to work on and stuff like that. With a guy like JJ who just does everything extremely well, how do you approach an off season with a guy like him? I know he's got the USA camp and stuff coming up, but
Well, he only hit 450, which means he makes more outs than he gets hits. No, but JJ just needs to continue to be JJ. And, I mean, what adjectives can you use? What superlatives can you use to describe that guy? Nobody's ever been perfect at the game of baseball, but he's as close as you can get. Nobody's like you said, since Buster Posey hit that high in a college baseball season, and he's a great defender, steals bases. He does everything you have to do. We just need to – could you imagine if we had 2 or 3 guys like him in the lineup at the same time? That's the goal. So JJ needs to just keep being JJ.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.